So we chasing the same thing. I did you bad, okay, my bad, baby, this ain't the same thing. You wanna stand on side a nigga, you know my name ring. All these diamonds blind a nigga, my watch and my chain ring. You won't stand on side a nigga. You won't stand on side a nigga. Yeah, but you won't stand on side a nigga, you know my name ring. I wanna bag you on my back, so we chasing the same thing. You just won't stand on side a nigga. All my diamonds blinding niggas, and if I look in your direction, I'm just looking, you not special. Welcome in. On the brick, I brought the load in with no I just flew to Maine, Cali, I won't be home in a month. You know your friend, she got me steady. I can tell she won't stop me, you know I do what I want. She won't. Welcome in. I was trying to make sure that I was in a good room before I joined, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, my fucking computer's not working, so there's that.
Welcome in, guys. I'll tell you what, the void has been something special. Seems like it's just after us. Welcome in, welcome in.
Like it if my computer would work. Welcome in, welcome in. Fantastic Friday. Oh my god, side note, Colin's art thing was so cool.
Was it?
I'm gonna have to send you a picture.
Okay.
Definitely my kid. Where he's like, oh, my project isn't that good. And I'm like, liar, liar, pants on fire.
If it's like that book thing where he like did the figurine in the book, like that was perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with that.
They had to make games. It was so cool. Like they had to make games. So like they made them out of ceramics. And he made like a waffle with blueberries and butter slabs as the game pieces for Tic Tac. Dude, it was cool as hell. Don't make much to excite me. Not that I'm not biased either, but you know. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday. We're going to be doing dual reads today, 2222, and you'll hear from both myself and ChildOfBalance. We have Cash App and Venmo in our link trees. You can donate to either one of us, and we'll figure out the rest on the back end. As always, you can drop collective questions in the chat, and we will answer those. A collective question is one that does not require us to tap into your individual energy. If you want us to pull on something for you, that is a read space.
I don't know why you sound like a Disney ride. Please keep your hands and feet in vehicle at all times until the boat comes to a complete stop. And once again, we thank you for visiting. That's what it sounds like. And once again, we thank you for visiting Disney World. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
If this is not the mantra for everybody right now.
Facts. 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 I got... Welcome in, Miss Kalilia. Welcome for being the first person in the room. Welcome in.
I'm over here still fighting with my laptop.
Oh, we're fighting the void over here hard, man.
Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, Transcending Frequencies. How are you today?
Green-eyed Mama, welcome in. How's everybody doing today? I think my count just must be messed up.
I'm like, whatever, we're just here for all of it. Great.
I can see Kalilia in the room and it's not even counting Kalilia.
Fantastic. How are you? Oh, you said you're good. I'm fantastic. I am fantastic.
Yo, I just posted vibes. Dude, yeah, I don't know, like, we're under some wicked protection right now, so we're just trying to do us while not being shows too. All right, well, welcome in, everybody. I can't see nothing over here, so no worries. We're not bothered by it. It is what it is. We're gonna talk our talk, throw the message.
I didn't even think it posted yet. Oh my gosh, I love that. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, but I love that it found you. I didn't even think it posted because I thought it was like in the void before I got live.
Oh, dude.
I posted a video and somebody goes, laugh my ass off. Your justice video just called me out, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know it posted yet because it was not showing as posted when I got on live after 20 minutes.
Dude, mine's in the void. Something fierce. I think it's been posted for like an hour or two and has like 12 views. I think like it's like in the complete void. How's it going, guys? If you're in here, please tap that screen. Please share the live.
Gosh, I love that. Thank you so much for liking it. I love it. I love it.
We are fighting the void over here in this room, so please do whatever you can. If you guys have collective questions, you can always drop them down in the comment section. Just keep in mind, collective questions do not require us to feel into you. We're more general. If you guys would like us to feel into you, the list is open and we are doing reads for 2222 today. You know? It's a microwave with Mercury. Yeah, it's something, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. It's definitely patchy, like...
There is so much. Mercury is the least of your issues right now, so, like, Mercury's like nothing. Nope.
Hey, Miss Kalilia, it recognized you're in the room.
That's almost like a non-factor right now, but like, oh, Mercury's like the mild energy out there right now.
It finally recognized Miss Kalilia's in the room. Welcome in. Dreams about homes and different people.
It is. But see, you know what? Like, and I say this like with all the love to everybody in the whole wide world. Right now, it is so freaking intense because so many people are finding their voice. Right? Like you're finding your voice. You're like, I'm not gonna silence myself anymore. So you're really having to address your behavior. And I want to say behavior because behavior is a form of communication. So you're really having to address your behaviors right now. And when I say this being funny, like you gotta like fix your face because like it's not just what the words that come out or how you react. It's like sometimes it's those nonverbal cues. So a lot of people right now are being called to like really reassess and readdress their behavior communication and what works and what doesn't. So like this Mercury retrograde for people is like feels really intense. Plus it's, we're in fire season now. So that's just like an added layer of intensity. The energy is wild all by itself. So it's kind of like navigating your way through the chaos while still maintaining your peace in the chaos. Miss Rosie, I'd always say I gotta fix my face because I try real hard and I'm one of those like I will be quiet and I'm like, I'm finding it. And my face is like, nope, we are not finding it. We are not doing this. And I'm like, I just need to go like this because that is a problem for me. So that's something I'm working on.
But it's like, you know what? A lot of times people talk about communication and we always think it's outside of ourselves. Like, it's also the communication with ourselves that is being asked to be readdressed. How we communicate to ourselves, what we say, what voices in our head are saying. Are we talking good things? Are we down talking ourselves? Are we ignoring something? Do we have a lack of communication within our energy body or our feelings? Like, a lot of things are coming to the surface and they're being shook loose on purpose, so they have to be addressed. This is the part of the year where the subconscious and the conscious naturally have a choice to bridge that gap and start coming together. And it's just depending on how much work and energy you're going to put there. You're going to still keep your head in the sand, denying that it's even happening, or are you going to work towards making that bridge the most successful thing yet,
Yes. Well, it's like a lot of people are really figuring out like this self-worth. Like you are figuring it out, like clapping. You're realizing like all these things that you were looking for outside of yourself were really inside of yourself this whole time. So you're no longer seeking that outside validation. You no longer give a shit what people think about you. And as a result, you're kind of reintroducing yourself to the world. And that means like, this is where it's like, put your money where your mouth is type of energy because you're responsible for your boundaries. So like, this is everything in that subconscious, like you just said, coming to light. And this is part of this shift we keep talking about. More and more and more people. And when I say it's like the collective is at the point of no return, I said it last week. Well, it's only up from here. We only continue to rise more. And a big piece of this right now is literally staying out of judgment of self, but judgment of others. Because the thing is, how somebody has that first epiphany or that breakthrough is not for you to judge, because once upon a time, you had an epiphany or a breakthrough that led you on this path. And so I get it. People get projected on, people do shitty shit. But like the thing is, people aren't attacking you. And I'm about to go there today. People are not attacking you. When you realize, and I mean really realize, take all your feelings out of it. When you realize people are in a war with themselves, people are fighting their unbalanced egos, and as a result, they're trying to basically take everybody down around them as they continue their fight within self, they're attacking themselves. You keep inserting yourself into their bullshit, and then unfortunately, you're playing victim in it. Like, oh my God, they're doing this to me. Why are you making yourself collateral damage in someone else's war with themselves? Move yourself out of the way.
Side note, completely not what that topic is. Yes, 1,000%. Miss Kalilia, I was thinking about what we were talking about yesterday because my brain does not stop. Aphantasia, right? Okay, great. So that was what we were talking about yesterday, Miss Kalilia. Do you dream? Do you have dreams? Like, do you remember your dreams?
Some of them.
Yeah, I mean, nobody remembers all of them, but like, you know what I mean? Like, do you have dreams? I'm just waiting for her to type an answer. Because I was minding my own business last night, eating dinner, and they started talking to me about what we were talking about. So I'm just curious. They are vague. Okay, because I'm gonna be honest, I was eating dinner last night, and my team just out of nowhere, like I wasn't even thinking about what we were talking about on live. I was eating dinner, minding my own business, and my team started automatically talking to me about like the mind's eye and the fact that if you can dream, you are using the mind's eye, so you can't say you have no mind's eye. Because they're talking about how the dream space is paired in with your creativity, but it's also paired in with your seer sight. You remember them like a memory. Yeah, so if you have a mind's eye.
Becoming memories. I was just about to say that. Thank you, Chloe. I was going to go, can we poll the collective that are in our rooms right now? Do your dreams feel more like remembrance than they do dreams?
Yeah, I'm telling you that, like, yeah. So you don't not have a mind's eye. Like I'm just telling you what my team went off on a rant yesterday, unprompted by at like 6 at night. Like you don't not have a mind's eye. Your mind's eye works differently, and it works in a different realm of seer sight ability. And they're just talking about how because you have it in some capacity, you have the potential to work at it in that capacity and strengthen it in other capacities. You know, I'm just telling you what they said out of nowhere with zero prompting, because I just felt the need to do that. And then it kind of ties back into, I guess I didn't think about this, but they were talking about that, and then they've been giving me messages about dreams for the last 2, maybe 3 days total, and I just posted a video about it, but yeah. So I don't know why that seems important, that was a random conversation that we had on live the other day, and then it tied back into something else being of the dream state. So pay attention to your dreams, dude, because dreams, a lot of things coming out of the post eclipse and all this other amplified energy like Miss Keys was talking about. This goes for anybody in the room, not just Miss Kalilia, but pay attention to your dreams right now, because a lot was shaken loose subconsciously and energetically, and a lot of it's making its way to the surface. And right now that's being expressed in dreams, and it might not even be so obvious. They're talking more about symbology in dreams and paying attention to how things are unfolding right now. Because there's a couple undertones that they're saying are coming to the surface for a large part of the collective to embrace and understand. So just keep that in mind. If your dreams are picking up and they just seem vivid or honestly kind of off the wall, kind of outlandish, it's because they're supposed to be taken symbolically and metaphorically and not physically and literally. So just keep that in mind, you know. Subtle things will change. Yeah. There's a purpose. There's a purpose, Miss Kalilia. But sorry, go ahead with what you were doing. It just was like, my team was like, say something about the dream.
I'm waiting to pull the
My team was like, say something. She's in the room. Say something about the dream. I'm like, okay. But yeah, you can pull collective whenever you want. I'll follow your lead.
I'm just smirking over here at my cards. That's all. So I just want to say this. It seems like there's like some, I won't call it a little anxiety in the collective right now, but it's because you're being asked to have blind faith. And I just gave a message about justice, but I want to talk about this judgment card. This is literally my most favorite card in my deck, but I want to tell everybody why. Do you see the 3 people in your higher self? Everybody is being asked to have faith right now because you are in a higher self merger. We are at like a convergence point again.
A higher self merger, the Lover's card.
But this is literally producing anxiety in people. And like I said, a lot of people, and again, like we have masculine and feminine energy in all of us, but this Queen of Cups out here, it's actually asking you to ground your emotions so that your intuition can now take the lead. And this is very, very uncomfortable for a lot of people, thus the anxiety coming out, that 8 of Swords, because you have to release control. You have to let go of the things that you have been holding on to so that they can let go of you. So right now, that's why I said your higher self is calling. Like you've done work, and this is for I'm gonna say a specific part of the collective because everybody is in a different place. But this is literally your intuition shifting into the lead, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. This is the feminine energy in all of us, and that's how I want to say that, in all of us, calling on this intuition. Because the thing is, as things physically crumble in the physical world, this is where we're making room for new, right? Destruction isn't necessarily bad. Yes, it can be chaotic. Yes, it can scare people, right? But why are people in fear? Because it's change. Most people fear change and they don't want to talk about it. It's so easy to get comfortable. So this higher self merger, this is pulling you, and I'm going to say forcing you because Spirit's moving people. It is move or be moved season, shift or be shifted. And the thing is, I don't want to say you don't have a choice because that sounds very not free willish, but you don't have a choice anymore. Spirit is moving everybody in one way, shape, or form. You're either being moved to confront your fears or you're being moved to merge with your higher self. Regardless, it is breeding an anxiety in the collective. So right now, and I said this other day and somebody asked me to expand on it and I freaking forgot because I had some shit happen yesterday. But people ask, what did I mean about not judging others or this or that? When we talk about holding the line, no, I don't want to.
Hold on. Someone just age restricted our live.
Child of Balance's live has been age restricted. If you continue to go live with them, your live will be unavailable. Okay, fine. I don't give a What just happened?
Dude, I'm telling you, the protection from this camp is huge right now.
For us today. Bye, Felicia.
Dude, no, but I'm telling you, the protection from this camp over here is level 40. I can't even do anything. I'm telling you.
Hold on. Now we gotta pause collective for a minute. We have been doing this for how many months, and I would just like everyone to know that notification has never come on my screen.
That's only happened to me one other time.
Ever.
One other time. One other time. And I bet we can all guess when that was.
So,
thank you for protection.
There's anxiety in the collective. Thank you for the confirmation. But the thing is, we're being asked, right? We're being asked to hold the line. And when we say hold the line, when I say hold the line, that means to hold your frequency. That means to not get sucked back into the anxiety. That means to stay emotionally grounded. It means to realize that while other people are experiencing things in a different way for the first time, they need you to lead by example. You've been there, you've done it. This isn't I told you so moments. And that's where there is a portion of the collective that is itching to be like, I told you so. Da-da-da-da-da. That is ego. That is ego. That is unbalanced ego. And that is what people are trying to be broken out of right now. So when I say you're either facing your fears or you're trying to merge with your higher self and to choose wisely right now, because my team took me back to an old message. It only takes a feather to tip the scale. So while you claim you're doing all this healing, the second you go back into your unhealed ego for a second, your scales tip, real quick. it doesn't take much. So right now that seat of the observer is like imperative for people, because when you can stay in that grounded space, you're able to see things shifting, changing, and feeling your way through, right? That's your Queen of Cups. Your feminine intuition, your feminine energy, man or woman, is taking that lead, but you have to go sit your ass down. Hot today, Satan.
Don't worry, we'll get to talking in a minute after this, because I'm going to tell you right now, though, there is a large part of the collective that did a hard shift. And I mean in the best way possible. It was a hard self shift. It was a shift that pushed you to be the best you possible, and it wasn't pretty. And that's what my team's talking about. And now they're kind of illuminating the fact, maybe they're kind of pressing on the fact that for somebody out here, your energy was ripped away from people who you were unaware they were using it. And that's the way that I want to say it. It was ripped away from people who you were unaware they were using it. So people who may have always been either talking to you, texting you, or maybe people who weren't even in your circle that you weren't even thinking was a problem. There's just something about the consumption of energy here that you were unaware that people were still kind of, I don't even want to say riding your coattails, because that's not even it, but it's like just using what you give freely for their highest, greatest good. And it's not a bad thing because you gave it freely, but there's just something here what your team is saying, enough is enough. And they cut them off. Don't feel bad. They cut them off. So if you're getting random waves right now, and specifically today, in the last couple days, you get random waves of feeling super energetic, and then you almost feel like you're in a bubble. It's for your protection, and it's because you are reintegrating energy that you haven't had for a long time. And I know that sounds super creepy, and that sounds in a weird way, but they did an energy recall for you by cutting off the people because you are elevating, because you're ascending, by energetically cutting off some people who were quote unquote holding you back. And it's not that they were actually holding you back, but they were taking without giving. They were taking without consciously giving. And it doesn't mean they were doing it on purpose. It doesn't mean they knew it was happening. My team's talking very much energetic here, and they're talking about how this is you overcoming obstacles to success, but you're starting to see your energy in a more sacred way. You're starting to see your time in a more sacred way, and you're starting to understand just how special some of these areas and things of you are, and how just not anybody gets access to them anymore is what they're talking about. And just that shift that happened with inside you rescinded that invitation, rescinded that open-ended, sure, if you need help, kind of a thing that you had subconsciously going on out of your conscious awareness. And they're just talking about how this is hardened. They're using the word self-discipline. This is hardened your self-discipline because you kind of realized you can't save people. You can't help people who don't want help. And sometimes your absence to people is a blessing, and that's energetically and that's physically. And you're not doing it on purpose, but sometimes you kind of have to let people sit in what they chose, or you let them understand their journey in their own unique way because you did it in your own unique way. You can't force people to do it your way. They have to come to terms with things in their own unique way. And there's something about this new brave beginning that I keep getting out here. And it's not out here as a Fool card, not even close, but it is out here as you in your Queen of Swords era, you kind of lifting up that sword of truth and sitting there with full stability. And I really do have this pairing of this Ace of Cups here. And I feel like this is you bridging into new relationship with self, but almost like contentment for the first time. And I feel like you had to do it through overcoming obstacles. I have two world cards out here all talking about completion. We have the Six of Swords about you moving through to rough waters from guys, backwards, from rough waters into healing waters, and they're kind of really just talking about how you had to let go of some burdens, and some burdens energetically were other people's energies that you were trying to tug along. I have a King of Swords out here, I have an Emperor, and I have my Death as transition. So there's a little bit of this masculine energy out here, whether that be masculine self. I'm gonna be honest, it don't feel like it's you. It feels like it's somebody else. Like, I'm gonna be real honest. It feels like it's somebody outside of you that maybe you were either holding space for, but more like pausing your life for is the way that I want to say it. Kind of making yourself smaller for. And it just feels like you're transitioning through that with my Death card riding out here. We have the Hermit and the Queen of Pentacles out. You definitely decided that you had to do something different, and you're unapologetically doing it. There's just something about freeing yourself from being pulled on the same path as another person, because I feel like with my Foresight card out here, I feel like you saw that it was going nowhere. That's the way that I want to say it. You saw that it was going nowhere, so you had to cut yourself loose. Is the way that it feels. And it doesn't even mean in a relationship. That's not even it. It's not like a romantic relationship. It's energy. When somebody is repeating cycles and they don't mind repeating cycles, when somebody is doing the same thing over and over and over again and there's no growth, but your soul wants growth, your soul wants diversity, your soul wants something different, your soul wants excitement, it wants all of this, and somebody has the exact opposite and they're okay with it. Sometimes you had to ask yourself, be like, is this what we want? And Spirit's saying, no, it wasn't. And subconsciously you were like, all right, we're going to do something different. But when you decided for yourself to do something different, the things that were holding you back started falling away. And some of that was just the reasoning. Some of that was just the energy. Some of that wasn't even that somebody physically was stopping you from doing something. No, it's just that the idea that you had to wait, the idea that you had to hold up for somebody, the idea that, well, we have to do it together, or, well, I don't want to go too far because they're still over here. Like, no, there's no time for that. And they're just kind of talking about how subconsciously your energy is switched. So if you have felt the flip into a new paradigm as it comes to you, yourself, and I, congratulations. They're just talking about how it's going to continue. And as things come up and get unseated, and that would be the shaking up, that would be the signs, the symbols, and everything coming to your conscious from your subconscious. As things begin to be shooken up, there's going to be a lot of things that are hitting the surface. There's going to be a lot of things that are hitting the surface, and there's a form of this rebirth energy. There's a form of this breaking out energy. Growth card. There's a form of this breaking out energy that is going... Shut up! The Death card. There's a form of this breaking out energy that you're just not going to be able to contain, because it's seated in the house of your wisdoms. It's seated in the house of your soul. And there's a part of this that is coming online now that is undeniable and makes you more, they're using the word distinguished, more distinguished than ever. So when Keys is talking about following your intuition, this is exactly what they're talking about, because you're starting to shift from having to mentally break things down and understand them to just being like, nah, I just felt like doing it. And you just following that and putting the action behind it. There's something that, so it's like you're no longer like outsmarting your intuition. You're no longer battling it. You're now adopting it as part of your wisdoms. And that's a key part to growth here. That's a key part to, they're calling it like the evolution of you, the evolution of your soul. That's a part of your growth that can't be taught, is what they're saying. That's a part of your growth that can't be taught, because it ushers in the peace that is you. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, guys. The list is open. We are doing reads today for 2222. We have Cash App, we have Venmo. So if you would like something felt into, we can do it. If you have a topic, a question, or maybe you don't know what you need and you just want to hear what you need to know, we call it a general, and we can do that too. We can do that too. I gotta let people miss me. Oh, God. Well, sometimes, but not from an ego state. From a cutting yourself loose and realizing you're worth more state.
Yes. from a not everybody gets access to me because I'm protecting my energy and I'm putting myself first. I got to remember to fill my cup and not just pour into everybody else's or allow everybody to drink from mine.
It's a boundary thing. It's a self-worth thing. It's a self-love thing. You know? What that does to somebody else is none of your concern. You know what I mean? Because you're not doing it for them. You're not doing it for their reaction. You're not doing it to elicit a movement from them. No, you're doing it because you finally see what you need. You finally see what you have going on and what you figured out, you know? If you guys have collective questions, go ahead, drop them down, and we'll chit-chat all about them. Not a problem. We'll answer whatever you need. We will answer whatever you need.
Do you want us to use... Okay, Transcending Frequencies sent us a Cash App.
Okay.
Do you want a general? Do you have a specific question? Just let me know, and then I'll let her know, and we will get started for you. Whatever comes up. You're brave.
Has healing just gotten hard for you? And I mean that in the best way possible. Has healing just gotten hard for you? Because they're kind of calling you a natural in the way of maybe things just come kind of easy and things seem to have been smooth sailing. For the most part, like maybe it was a little bit of a hiccup here and there. I'm gonna be completely honest, but my team's like, oh, it's hard now. It got hard now. It got real now is what they're talking about. And I just feel like you got to a level where your comfortability might not be completely there with the depths of you. Like your, what you've been trying to heal, what you've been trying to bust through just got 100% real to your core. And there's almost like this energy here to where you're just like, ooh, oh shit, like that hit, like over and over and over again, to where it's like now you kind of having to find your sea legs again through the emotions and through this next area of spirituality is the very first initial thing. Hey, Crow, the very first initial thing that popped out before I've even shuffled. My team's like, ooh, it's getting turbulent now.
I want to say like the last 9 months have been like rocket fire, and I want to say like you're having to confront a lot of like, I want to call it like family belief systems, but I've got you out here as this Queen of Wands energy. And when I say that, you're being asked right now to be like very direct. And when I say this, assert yourself in ways that you haven't asserted yourself before. Like I have here, I'm going to show you these. You're being asked to peel the layers back at surface level. And when I say this, it's like you have clarity, but you need to go further down. And I just want to keep telling you, like, you put a price tag on your peace and your worth at some point, and you kind of got comfortable. And now they're kind of asking you to redefine that because you're priceless. There's no amount of anything. There's no number. There's no behavior. There's no nothing. You're being asked to redefine things. And right now it's really asking you to look at what you've been holding on to that really doesn't serve you. And like I said, I've got, you're being confronted with your beliefs. And when I say this, it's like I want to say you've broken out of your shell. That's the way I want to say it. You have broken out of your shell, and this has been like I want to say a massive transformation. You've been on a catalyst of really getting to know who you are. And I have the Hermit out here as a bridge, which is like you've acquired all of this, I want to say, knowledge and wisdom, and you almost kind of didn't know what to do with it. You second guessed yourself along the way, but you're not afraid to be alone with yourself anymore. And I feel like that was one of your biggest obstacles to overcome. And that's why I said, now that you've learned to be okay with you, you're having to redefine I want to say the paradigm in which you play. That's just what my team said. The paradigm in which you play, and when I'm saying play, they're almost like how you interact with others. And I want to tell you, family is not a label that you have to use to excuse bad behavior. You don't have to accept things from family under the name of family.
There's like a piece and a part of this energy that really makes me feel like it just sunk in. Like, I want to tell you that you always mentally understood spiritual concepts. You had no problem adopting the light and lofty concepts. The we're connected, I love you, you're just like me, like you. Like, I feel like you had no problem doing that. And I feel like there's a part to the mysticism and the mystical side of things that you've always been pulled to. And I'm really getting a big pull to dragons. I'm not really sure exactly where we're going with that right now, but I am getting really bigly, really bigly pulled to dragons. But there is something here that they just keep talking about how part of this transition you're undergoing is the fact that you took it out of the mind space and you're beginning to feel it for the very first time. And I'm not just talking about the first time you've ever felt something, like, no, I'm talking about that the concepts that you might have learned mentally are now sinking in energetically, emotionally, and physical feeling wise, to the fact that I want to tell you you're bridging a gap between your higher mind and your, I don't want to call it your lower mind, but like your everyday brain is the way that I want to talk about it. And I just feel like this is part of you healing yourself, but this is a part of you becoming a piece and a part of the whole, because this is the level that's uncomfortable. And if you feel like you're viewing things, because they keep bringing me to your eyes, if you feel like you're viewing things completely different, and if you feel like you're physically seeing out of new lenses, but just everything, not people and their energy, but like the concepts and the structures, even the concepts that maybe you used to get behind, and now you're like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. Like, and it's just like the contradictions of things and how that might not be the healthiest of things. And there's just this in between to where it got 100% real for you. Like, it synced into the core, and that's part of this transition that you're having to come to terms with. Now they're just talking about how this part of the transformation is hard for you, and when they're using the word hard, it's because it's uncomfortable, and it's because it got to your center, which, even though we said, and they're saying, like, even though we said that that's what we wanted, now that it's arrived, you're like, oh, maybe not. Like, that's fun, but like, maybe not, maybe not. And they're just talking about, if you're feeling the need to give yourself a moment to rest and kind of recoup off of the energy bounce that you feel, you need to do it. There's a part of you not trusting you and what you're picking up on right now that they really want to harp on, because the part of this new, like, unseen subconscious energetic journey that you're going on, where you start linking what you think you know with what your soul knows, and you start linking them together in your paradigm, in your right now, in your world, in your reality. They're just talking about how some things are no longer going to feel right. Even some of the things that you like are no longer going to feel right to you, because your soul is being accounted for now, is the way that they're saying it. And because your soul is being accounted for, they want you to trust if you feel like you need to move on from a certain way of doing, thinking, or being. But they also want you to trust if you feel like you need to adopt or go do something, they really want you to follow that lead. Because there's just something about your higher mind sinking in with your current everyday system that is bringing your soul back online in your everyday decisions. Like something super simple as what to eat, where to go, should I really hang out with that person? Like, just the everyday things. What should I wear today? Like, those type of things. It's subconscious and energy that's coming to the surface right now for you. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. You're good. I was gonna say I have the owl out here and the taming of the wind. You're being asked to tame those thoughts and allow the wisdom that you gained to actually come in and utilize that. And just like Child of Balance said, it's okay to rest. It's okay to take time for you. And that's you had that hermit out as the bridge in the very beginning. And it's okay to pause along the path because things are coming in so quickly right now that it's like people keep feeling like I want to say they're running out of time, and I'm getting that sense with you that like you feel like you're running out of time to piece it all together. You have plenty of time. Your the construct of racing the clock, it's just a construct. You're not on borrowed time. That's what I want to say. I want to say you feel like you're on borrowed time. You have all these things and you got to do something with them right now. But see, if you hate to rest, you're being called to do so because it is uncomfortable for you. And it's this when we are okay with sitting with self, when we are okay with us in the silence, in the stillness, that is where the pieces start to come together and we are given more pieces. So if you hate to rest, it's because it's uncomfortable and you're being called to do it.
I'm gonna be real honest. They're talking about how you can't work through this one, and they mean that in the best way possible. They're saying you can't outwork this. You can't. There's no workaround. There's no cool way of thinking or perspective that's gonna free you from the lesson of flow. And there's a certain part of allowance because they're saying you don't necessarily like surrender. There's a certain part of allowance that you need to reach because they're talking about how you like hard work. You like to almost work something to death in the fact that it makes sense. Oh my god, and then you rabbit hole it is the way they're talking about, but it's almost like you work on it so hard that it almost kind of then falls out of the realm of awesome because it's overstood is the way that I want to say it, like it's overstood. And this is a part of physical working burden that you put on yourself because you think, and don't get me wrong, we all do it. Hell, dude, I still do it. We get something and we think we need to do something with it. And they're just talking about how that's not the case, but they are inundating you with a lot to think about, a lot to look at, a lot to start pairing together. And it's because you're beginning to come online. And when we say online, I just mean you're getting connected in new levels that you haven't been thus far. And they're just kind of talking about how this is part of your transition. This is part of your healing. This is part of the I'm gonna say what they're saying, but I don't want you to take it literally. This is the part of the death of the ego and the birth of the they're saying like the soul that is happening inside of you to where you don't have to think the shit out of everything. This is the allowance stage that you have to feel through. And they're just kind of talking about how it's different. You know what I mean? And I just keep getting pulled to dragons, dude. Like now I'm getting cold chills. I just keep getting pulled to dragons, and I'm just staring at these cards, and I just see dragon energy like all over it.
There was
And
a comment that said that they heal dragons or work with dragons, so not surprised.
yeah, like, and it's like one of those things where like I just really feel like there's a part of this connection that is being ushered, I don't want to say through them, but through them. And the fact that they're around you right now in troths is not accidental. So if you feel like they've been kind of heightened to the point where maybe they're on guard a little bit more, or they're more willing to assist or help, or maybe they're just more in numbers, because I really do feel like it's not just one dragon. I do feel like it's a few of them. So if they just seem to be larger in numbers or hanging around more, it's because they're noticing the shift and they're fully aware of what shift you're going through right now, and they're there to assist. Um, I've been pulled to like a ton of like a ton of inner workings is the way that it feels like a ton of how things work, the breakdown of things, how things correlate together. 2:32 on the clock. It's pulling me back to like when my team talks big web and they talk about like zoom out and see everything and how the interconnectedness of things, and then they zoom into one object and they break the object down and they zoom out to a group of objects, link them all together, zoom out again to the big picture, then zoom into another object. It just makes me feel as though they're going out and in and out and in order to try to get you. And I'm gonna be honest, they don't give a shit about your brain. They're talking about your soul here, like to get you in sync with the bigger picture of things and see how you're just not one tiny speck, but you're a piece of something that's huge. And the idea of being a piece and a part of something that's huge. Are we just gonna keep using the word huge? Is huge? I hate when they do a build up and then it's like the same word, and I'm like, but yeah.
Any questions for either of us? Would you like anything clarified?
There's something. I feel like there's something else here. Please tell me you feel that.
I feel like there's something specific.
I'm gonna get my little dragony deck and we'll see. I
already have mine out.
I don't have the best dragon deck. I'm gonna tell you that right now, but it does have some really cool artwork. I do want to find a really nice one, but I just don't know if it exists.
Let us know if you have any questions or you'd like us to clarify on something specific. As a reminder, all of the lives are posted to our YouTube. And
I didn't realize she switched rooms.
Oh.
I literally am. I think about the materials in my clothes down to the vibration. Hey, Miss Tanya, happy Friday, dude. Yes, I go down the rabbit hole of the dragons I work with. Yes, I'm totally upgrading. I'm a dragon healer. There's not. We've got multiple LOL. Think bigger. Yes, that's me. Why certain parts are clicking together. Can you call certain people in? She says, thank you. What do you mean, can we call certain people in? Do you mean like dead people? Technically, yes.
Do you mean...
Technically, yes. Deities. I don't typically call deities in. They usually just come in.
Correct.
I'm gonna be honest. I just do the follow the leader. Yes, my one guide is a strong male. If there's something you want to know, I could attempt to call him in to get your answer. But I think I'm gonna be really honest. I feel like your dragons are more talking to, at least over here in this camp. I don't know who Miss Keys is working with, but I feel like I'm picking up more of your dragons than anything else at the moment. You know what I mean? You have somebody who's kind of over you right now, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't know if you ever feel like this Spitfire energy, and I don't just mean like bold energy like you're talking about. I mean like, I don't want to call it loose cannon, but like I almost feel like if you pushed enough, this person would have quite the temper. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know necessarily their person. I think it's just an energy, but it's almost like I feel like I have this kind of almost half angry energy, but in like an anger because you're suppressing yourself, not in an anger because they're mad at you. there's almost like this energy of someone, like I just keep getting an image of someone slapping their hand on the table and be like, damn it, enough is enough, kind of a thing. And I feel like there's this really strong pull, and it's coming from like below the breastbone, so it's hitting more like solar plex, kind of an energy that like rumblings of passion is the way that I want to say it, where someone's fire is starting to get lit up and starting to get agitated and is starting to rumble inside them. And it just is giving me the feeling like he's over you playing small. He's over you playing it safe. He's over you trapping yourself. He's over you keeping yourself in a cage or a box. And I just keep hearing like, God damn it, let yourself free. Like over and over and over again in like this low, low voice, to where it's almost like a growl kind of a voice. And it's just something about part of this transition is the culmination of everything you've had going on, and it's coming to a head. Like I'm literally getting like coming to a head, and the whole point is to stop editing yourself. The whole point is to stop holding back. The whole point is to stop playing it safe, because there's a part of this enlightenment that requires your growth in this area, that requires your boldness, that requires your oomph to break free. And there's just really a part of the, oh, I feel like he's up my back now. There's just really a part of this energy that is like angered by the fact that you make yourself small, because he is very adamant. Do you have a dragon that likes to play with their tail a lot? This is so random, but do you have a dragon that likes to talk? I almost want to say talk with his tail, like talk with his tail, to almost where like he coils around things, which is a weird. So I don't know if he's more snake-like, because I feel like he's behind me, but he coils around things, and his tail is very expressive, to where his tail is like following the beat of what the F he's saying, because I can like in my peripheral see it over here, just doing all the things while he's actually over here and being all like big bad guy. But he's super adamant on the fact that the whole goal is to break free. But there's something about like this he's calling it more than hesitation, downright fear of truly embracing your full power. There's just something about you that you almost feel unstable, is the way that I want to say it. But I don't mean mentally unstable. I mean energetically unstable. Like if you were to let it all go and let it out of the bottle, you wouldn't be able to put it back. Like there's almost this undoable energy here that he is harping on, to the point where he's like, that's where he wants you. If you were to ask him, he wants you at the precipice of I can't fix it kind of a thing, because he's talking about baby, that's weird, but he's talking about like, baby, that's who you are, like in the way of being like, that is the essence that you are. That's the level that you're supposed to be at, is that unapologetic, out of the bottle kind of an energy. And there's a piece and a part to this that I feel like as calm and as as you are, in the way that I want to say it, and as much as you try to keep level, there's this fierce rawness that you don't let out enough. And he's being very adamant that that's what needs balanced inside of you. Too nice, too long, too small, too long. And there's this part of, there's a part of your sacred rage that is being set and linked for you, whether you realize it or not, but it's paired with your passion. There's something about this lineage and this rage that is being put online for you in a very interesting way. And he's just talking about how that rumbling, he's saying that rumbling of us is what is ushering you forward to accepting the more that you are, because there's just this piece and part of you that you keep locked away, but this is what is setting you free. And if you've been dabbling in your wings lately, or if you've been having thoughts of your wings lately, he's talking about how this is actually like the next level. And he's like, if you really want to, this is so, I don't know if this is a live topic, but he's like, if this is really what you want to kind of work on and start reaching into energies that aren't just you and aren't just us, then you need to be fully set free, is the way that he's talking about it. And if you don't realize this, you have the ability to go both up and down in frequency energy spectrums. He's saying like in the way of you could work with a lot of energies that you are kind of closed off to working with. And he's not talking like demon or devil or not, like he's just talking about things that are kind of out of your realm of awareness, because he's kind of making me feel like my peripherals are blacked out and I'm only seeing like blinders in front of me. And he's just talking about unleashing this part of you and accepting it and readopting it back to the whole, and not being ashamed of it or afraid of it, because there is a fear of self here that he really wants you to push past. Um, he's talking about like once that's unleashed, then it's like the whole almost 360, like it's very almost behind the ears kind of a thing, becomes open and fully readopted back into your awareness for usage. So there's something about the fact that you pull from other energies, and the fact that you pull from other metaphysical I don't want to say the word beings, but just energies of different frequency levels and different dominions. They're just kind of talking, that's a weird word, dominions. They're just kind of talking about how it would open up more, and it would change the way that you currently operate on many levels. But you can't work with things that you don't understand until you fully understand yourself. And that's what he's talking about. This ball that he's kind of showing is like the ball of what's kind of balled up and buried. And he's just talking about we have to get past this fear of expression, this fear of fully adopting your fullness, because there's a part of like you think this level is moderate and you think this moderate level is acceptable, is what they're talking about. And he's really ushering to the fact that it's no, he's like pushing you, and he's just like, no, that's your perception of what you think is an acceptable level. And he's very, very blunt with the fact that anything less than 100% you is unacceptable, is what he's talking about. And now my back's getting cold, but he is really adamant that and here goes that tail again. Anything that is not 1,000% you all the time is unacceptable. And he is really pushing you to let it out the bottle. Because he's kind of talking about how it could be fun to play with, and he's not going to let you. There's like almost like a fear of like demise. Like if you use all of you, what's the limit? What's the cap on the potential? How do you stay balanced? How do you stay in the zone of being a good person, a healthy person? Like it's almost like this, and he's very adamant on the fact that he would not let you drift one way that would not be in your greatest, highest good. He is very adamant that in order to control it, you have to unleash it first, because controlling it in a cage is a false sense. He's almost like saying like a false sense of security, a false notion, because the second you let it out of the cage, it's uncontrollable because you're just playing games with it. Like he's literally giving me an animal in a cage. When you train them and they're in the cage, and then they listen because they know they're in the cage, and the second you let them out and you try the same tricks, it doesn't work, is the way that he's saying it. I'm really getting pulled to like some kind of lion thing. I don't know if it's really a lion. It kind of looks kind of funky, I'm not gonna lie. But like it's just in this cage, and he's just kind of talking about how like, yeah, you may teach it tricks in the cage, the second you unlock it, see how fast it turns on you. And it's just kind of talking about how if you want to earn its trust, you got to give trust, so you got to let it out. So so
there's that.
so there's that. He wants to work directly with you with that acceptance of self. And he's talking about like he was very adamant on like the precipice point is coming, because the next step is fully unleashing the like less accepted side of self. And honestly, dude, it's paired with like anger. But it's like your femininity. I'm getting like a lion kind of a thing. Like I don't know how to make that make sense. Like I don't know, but that's what he wants you to do, is to stop editing yourself. And he is very, very confident in the fact that that's what you should be focusing on. Because if you really want to go, he's saying where you claim you want to go, and you really want to do the things you claim you want to do, then that would be in your best interest in order to be able to, he's saying like house and control House in control without fear, the energies you wish to work with. I'm gonna scroll back up, see what you commented, commented, see what you commented. Um, if not, it's okay. Go ahead, whatever they got. I need specific to where to go with it all, like a high priestess is like where I'm pulled. It's my baby cousin. Yes, her name is Teresa. Solar plex. Haha, he's safe. I promise. Literally thought I have zero. Literally though, I have zero peripheral vision. Embrace the anger. Breathe the fire. Sekhmet. Look up Sekhmet. You'll see. I've had Sekhmet in my space. Once or twice. Once or twice. But but yeah. But yeah, it's the coming online with those things that maybe we don't work with a lot is what he's talking about, and like doing it without like editing yourself, without hesitation. Like he wants it fully unlocked.
Yes.
Like he's very adamant.
Redefining yourself, like pushing you to your limits and then breaking through your limits and your barriers. Like there are no limits. They don't want you to have limits. We're not limiting ourselves anymore, boxing ourselves in. We're only doing this. This is the path we're going, and they want all paths open and available to you.
He's really over you limiting yourself. Like he is really
Very
over
bad.
you
Like
downplaying yourself. He's really over you thinking too small. So he's trying to give you the reassurance that you need to take the step forward into unlocking it, getting comfortable
flying
working with those
free,
types of
absolutely
energies.
flying free.
Do you have any questions or do you need anything clarified? Because I know that was not the typical, not the typical read. I mean, slightly more typical for me than Keys, but so their issue, right, is reading cards with the basic meanings. Their issue is not limiting yourself in any one way. They want you all the way open. So if you think that's one space where you're limiting yourself by playing it safe and only going off of what somebody else tells you is the meanings for something, then that's a good place to start. But I'm gonna be real honest, that's like surface level, and they're talking about like internal. They're talking about like who you are internally to not want to play it safe anymore and to bust out of the cage you keep yourself in, like in all senses, emotionally, like metaphysically, like the limits you place on yourself, what you think you can only do, what you think you can only house, what you think you can only work with. Like they're talking all the way around. But if that's where you want to start with trusting yourself and trusting what you're getting, then that's a good place to start. But the tools we work with reflect us, and cards are just a tool. So if we're playing it safe on cards, we're playing it safe on the inside too, dude. So you can start there, but he gonna be breathing up your neck, like for the next deeper level. I'm gonna be real honest. He's gonna be breathing right up your neck because he could not have gotten any closer to my back when we were chit chatting. Bonnie, is Rusty being faithful? I won't be able to answer that. I'm sorry. I can only feel into energies that I have the permission to work in. So I can do a love relationship reading for you, Bonnie, if you would like one. But I cannot feel into Rusty's energy or what his decision making is being right now or doing. I can tell you what you need to know regards the relationship and stuff like that, but I can't tell you what he's doing. Crow, I think intense breath work can be done if you haven't done the work leading up to it. If you've not done any breath work, I would not say that you would start with the intense ones, because if you're not used to the amount of oxygen and blood flow, then you can easily knock yourself out for sure. But does that make sense? Transcendence? What is transcending frequencies? Okay. All right. Well, as long as you don't have any questions or anything like that, or you don't need anything clarified, like, thank you for allowing us in your space, your time, your energy, and we hope that that helps you in some way, shape, or form. I'm an action person, so I'm trying to think it out.
Just for you, Kalilia. I know that's your jam.
Okay. Well, just sit with it, dude. Just sit with it. Because even though you're an action person, are the actions you taking are safe? Are they safe? Are they safe actions, or are they like from the soul actions? You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's what they want you to kind of. They want you to step into your fearless era kind of thing. You know. Yeah, but see, that's exactly what they want you to face of why it scares you. Soul work, putting it into the world, scares people. Mm. But we shouldn't be concerned with
I
what
don't care what anybody thinks.
with anybody thinks, because the people who need it will find you, and the people who are afraid of it probably don't need your help right now with where they're at on your journey. So you're on different levels in different spaces, different places.
And the thing is, we lead by example. So when we choose to heal by just being us and authentically us, that triggers healing in other people. Because whether you trigger people to have to meet their shadow or you trigger people to decide to do work, like you're facilitating healing just by being you. How people choose to heal and how people choose to do things in their life is nobody's business. That's the thing. It's nobody's business how somebody else chooses to heal.
Like you talk about dragons, and they
Will never ever pull on anyone's energy without permission. That's a line in the sand. That's our moral compass. That's a no here.
like you talk about dragons, they run you, see, and I'm working on it, and yes. Okay. But they're just bringing awareness to it. So don't overthink it. He wants you to feel through it. He doesn't want you to think it out. That's what he's telling you he doesn't want you to do. He wants you to feel it. Feel what he's saying. Because your body will tell you where that needs to be applied. You know? But I hope that helps. I hope that helps, dude. I hope that helps.
Everybody's moral compass is not the same. That is for sure.
What? What did I miss?
Somebody was saying how they appreciate how we don't
No worries.
pull on other people's energy without consent, and about ethical practices. And I said everybody's moral compass is not the same.
Yeah, it really depends on the culture and the spaces you grew up in, because I don't believe in it. Um, you know, to do it purposefully.
Not
Um,
only that, but we've talked about it before. We've done it on live. We've said it in our. What does somebody need to know about somebody else? Why is that helpful for you? Let's just break it down there. Why do you need to know what someone else is doing? You're supposed to be in your lane worrying about yourself, not everybody else. So there's nothing you need to know about what someone else is doing. That's your ego. I'll say it. That's your ego.
yeah, and the thing is, if you need to know, if you need to know about something, no worry, Crow. Have a good day, dude. If you need to know about something coming your way, like, your guides are gonna tell you. Now, they're probably not gonna tell you who. They might, but like, you already know what you need to know. You know. You
And
know.
that's the thing. 9 times out of 10, you I say this with love because this will put a lot of people out of business, but I'm gonna say it anyways. That's your intuition, and you're coming to other people as confirmations. And then when you get your confirmations, now take that with you and realize what happened when that intuition first went off for you, and why didn't you trust it? Get out of your head.
Facts. But the list is open, guys. We are doing reads for 2222. We have Cash App and we have Venmo. So if you would like something felt into, we can definitely do it. Or if you have a question or a topic, we don't mind answering. If you guys have collective questions, you can always drop them down in the comments. I might have to do last call though.
That's just fine. Nope, that's fine. I actually, yeah, I have a little phone call appointment in about 20 minutes.
Gotcha. So if you guys have any last collective questions or if you want on the list, go ahead and get on there now before we head out of here. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Welcome in, Miss
Gut tell
Lillian.
you. I don't want to answer that till you tell me what your gut tells you.
What?
We're gonna just do a teaching exercise. Oh my gosh! Thank you for the tiny. I'm gonna tell you, like that's a really personal decision, and I'm gonna say this because nobody else should make that decision but you, and that requires someone else's energy to be felt into. So when I say this, you clearly know that person, and I don't have permission to be in their energy, right? So in order for me to answer that, I'd have to have their permission. But we're gonna do exercise. What does your gut tell you? Your gut does not waver. Your head wavers. What does your gut tell you? No, I know what you're saying. You're saying, like, should you go into business with this person? What does your gut tell you? I want to separate things for people with your head and your gut. Your head, your mind, will second guess itself. What does your gut tell you? When you sit and you ask yourself that question, what do you feel?
Kalilia.
And I mean feel, like energetically feel. What does your energy do? Okay, if it was a hard yes and now you need a pause, that's because something has changed. So when I say this, something has shifted. We've been talking about that in Habit Collective here. There are major hard shifts going on. So if you have felt something shift in the energy that is causing you to question what was once a hard yes, I'm going to tell you to sit in the seat of the observer. That's what I'm going to tell you. You need to sit, no emotions, and observe. Take note of what you're observing and how it makes you feel. Because feelings and emotions are not the same. I mean, I have a hard answer, but I want you to discern this. Okay, you have your answer. Your brain, your brain is making you second guess it because you have a friendship. Your gut about your business is coming at you straight shooter. Because and that's the thing, it's a fact. You can't go into, not everybody can go into business with their friends. It's that simple. Some people can, and it's great. Yeah, but is the amount of money you make worth your peace? That's what I want to ask you. Is the amount of money you can make worth your peace? Because I kind of feel like it's a recipe for disaster, is what I want to say. But see, you're answering all your own questions. That's why I say that, because you're answering all your own questions. If you think it's going to cost you could possibly cost you your friendship, and that's not worth it to you, then you have your answer.
I don't think it's okay. Like, I can't see a single word that's being said because she's in your room or he's in your room. Or, no, she's in your room. Like, there's just like,
There's too much walking on eggshells
no,
with the
it's
two
not
of you.
even that. Like, it's not even the person, bro. Like, the energy is swirly, not in regards to the person, but in regards to everything else. In regards to everything else, the person might not be your problem,
Nope.
but feel into all the energy surrounding every other aspect that would be required of you to make this move. If that's what's holding you back, then don't mislabel it as getting into business with the person that's the problem. Maybe it's everything else but the person. Maybe it's the perfect person, but just something else is a little off. Because it doesn't feel like the person is where you're hesitating. It feels like everything else is where you're hesitating. Like I said, I can't see a single thing, but the entire time
Here, hold on.
you're doing that.
Hold on, let me go back.
Real 3 on the clock.
She said it really truly depends on the day. It was a hard yes, but now it gives me a pause. Then she goes, that dang eclipse. And then said, yeah, because as a friend, she's awesome, but I don't play with my business. We did. We started out possible business partners. We could make a lot, but she's scattered and I am too. Um, she goes, I have to work through it with somebody that I don't know. And then you started talking and she did laughing emojis. Fact, absolutely. Yes. She needs a separation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to figure out what you want. You. And that means getting this in order first.
It's all good, Miss Kalilia. I'm gonna make a sandwich when I get off here too, so no worries. But all right, guys. Well, thank you for spending all the time, the energy, and space here. I will be popping off. We will be back on, or well, at least me. I will be back on later this evening around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and the list will be open. And DG Chaos, what's up?
That's who I was talking to.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the little star compass. I wanted to see what that does. I just wanted to see it do its thing. Thanks so much. I just wanted to see it go.
Love that you picked the star compass. Oh! Yay!
Yeah, I just,
So you know it doesn't take a lot to excite me in case you haven't figured that out yet.
I've been putting it up there because I just want to see it go once, like, because I'm always so curious. Because some of them are really cool, But we'll be back on later tonight. Yeah, no worries, dude. Like we do this in between reads, so it's something that we do often. We mentor people and we help, shadow work and other things like that. So this is like what we do every day. So it doesn't, I just like third party energy readings too, so I appreciate you. Yeah, no worries. No worries. It happens. It happens. It happens. But all right, guys. Well, I will see you guys later.
I'll be back on Monday for live, but I will be there to mod tonight. Bye,
Yeah.
guys. Have a good day.
No worries. I knew what you meant. You're good.